is my persuasive speech, and this is my audience. My sister and my dad and my mom behind the camera. The topic is cigarette smoking. The habit is highly controversial and extremely dangerous. So why do people choose to do it? Today I would like to start out by telling you a brief history behind smoking. Smoking has been around for centuries. When Americans were first introduced to tobacco, they thrived off the product. Americans would smoke their tobacco through a pipe or even by chewing it. A few years later, Europeans brought over their new way of smoking, a way we all might know, through the cigarette. Before people knew of the unhealthy results of smoking, it was a worldwide habit. At one point, it even said that smoking could clear a person's lungs. This, of course, was before smoking deaths were among the highest in the country, and soon realizing this, the United States created a prohibition against it. The prohibition to the use of tobacco existed in 14 states in the 1890s, and a further 23 states had apparently considered prohibiting use of tobacco. There were also calls at the time to label the product with the word poison. This so-called poison is what most people start smoking at an early age, due to the fact that it might seem cool or even peer pressure would start them to smoke. Soon enough, teenagers will begin their lifelong addiction. Statistics show most people can't quit smoking and will continue into their older years. According to SmokingFacts.net, of the 3,000 teens who start smoking today, 1,000 of them will eventually die due to this habit. I don't know about you, but I definitely think this is a lot of people who throw their lives away the second they start smoking. I personally have seen what smoking can do to a human being. My grandmother was an avid smoker who had this terrible habit. She was born in Europe and had been smoking since she was 10 years old. But where she came from, this was nothing new. So when she came to America, she knew of nothing different, because in her country it was almost socially wrong not to smoke. My mom would tell me that she was a chain smoker, meaning that she would light a cigarette right after her previous one. After many years of smoking, my grandmother had a stroke a few weeks after I was born. She was paralyzed completely on her left side and had to be constricted to a wheelchair. Forcing her to be constricted to a wheelchair, she needed help to do things like get in a car, into her bed, or even to bathe. Just like many other victims of smoking, it became hard for her to breathe due to the lung disease that was taking over her body, slowly but surely, making the only way for her to breathe through a device that provided oxygen through a tube. She said how she wished she would have never smoked, or she never had this habit to begin with. So, I would say to anyone that would listen to me, don't even try it. It's not worth it. It's not cool, and it's an addictive habit and hard to quit, if not almost impossible. I'm sure you have seen the commercials on TV about the people who say they wish they would have never started smoking to begin with. They said that it looked so glamorous in the beginning, but in the end, they only saw the frightening results. We don't have control of how long we are going to live, but we definitely have control of the quality of life that we are going to live. I wish I would have had more years with my grandmother, but I know that she is with the Lord, and I know that she is no longer suffering. I'm going to take care of the body God has given me, and I think you should too. We should not be enticed by those who glamorize smoking. So how about you? Will you say no to the question, do you want to smoke?